Greetings everyone. My name is Florence Denens-Habeck, PrimeVigilance Head of Marketing. We are glad you could join us today for the PrimeVigilance webinar titled The Impact of Brexit on Pharmacovigilance. Before we commence, I'd like to run through a couple of quick housekeeping matters. Firstly, we expect this webinar presentation to run for approximately 40 minutes, with a short amount of time for question and answer at the end. And secondly, you are very welcome to send us your questions at any point throughout the presentation. You can do so by typing them into the Q&A available on your screen. And now I'd like to introduce you to our speakers. Dr. Marcela Fialova, PrimeVigilance Senior Director, EU QPPV, UK QPPV. Dr. Jana Hyankova, PrimeVigilance Director, EU QPPV, UK QPPV. I will now let our speakers take over from here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcela Fialova, and let me start our today's webinar with the overview of topics we would like to touch today. At the beginning, we will quickly repeat the legislation applicable to the UK after the end of transition period of Brexit, and then we will move directly into the areas which were impacted the most. Jana will explain requirements for UK QPPV and UK PSMF. I will then continue with submissions to MHRA and will highlight the most important aspects of rules announced by MHRA with respect to individual PV procedures. We will conclude with Jana's summary and thoughts around the need for consistency of pharmacovigilance in the new situation, where we need to meet requirements of two strictly regulated territories, EU and UK, which were used to be just one. Okay, so let's have a look on regulation which is applicable in post-Brexit period. The United Kingdom voted to leave the EU in 2016 and officially left the EU on 31st January 2020. However, both sides agreed to keep many things the same during transition period to allow enough time to agree on the terms of new deal. The transition period ended on 31st December 2020. So from 1st January this year, the MHRA retains responsibility for pharmacovigilance across the UK and acts as the UK standalone regulatory authority. UK is composed of 4 countries, England, Wales and Scotland, which altogether create Great Britain, and the 4th one is Northern Ireland. This is important to mention, as there are some different requirements for products placed on the market in the UK with respect to Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Great Britain is regulated as a sovereign territory under national law. For products authorized for sale or supply in Northern Ireland, EU pharmacovigilance requirements will continue to apply in addition to UK requirements. Let's have a look on the general principle which is followed in respect of pharmacovigilance in UK and is applicable to UK marketing authorizations. If the product is authorized for sale or supply in the UK and Northern Ireland only, the legal provisions stated in the Commission implementing regulation apply. If the product is authorized for sale or supply in Great Britain only, then legal provision in Schedule 12A of the Human Medicines Regulations apply. Schedule 12A provides further provision as to the performance of pharmacovigilance activities in the UK. And lastly, provisions provided in Part 11 of the Human Medicines Regulations apply to all UK marketing authorizations unless expressly stated otherwise. I am pretty sure that all of us closely monitored any MHRA guidance published with respect to the rules MHRA expects us to follow. Also, the published guidance was updated frequently, but luckily mainly with additions than with changes. In the UK, the EU GVP modules remain in force, but were amended and further detailed with exceptions and modifications that apply to UK marketing authorization holders and the MHRA. Indeed, only the changes to each module are explained in the exceptions and modifications. Therefore, it should be read side by side with EU GVP. In addition, MHRA published guidance on QPPV and PSMF, also on PV procedures, as well as guidance regarding registration and submissions to the MHRA, and they also published guidance on good pharmacovigilance practice, which talks about rules for inspections, their types, cooperation with other regulators, inspection outcomes, metrics, and fees. MHRA also organized webinars and prepared a lot of video guides to help the industry to understand the rules and prepare for the change. All this was done during a relatively short time. Well, this is all I wanted to say about legislation background. So now let's move to more practical topics and start with UK QPPV and UK PSMF. Jana, floor is yours.
Thank you, Marcela. So I'm going to talk about a qualified person responsible for pharmacovigilance for products authorized in the UK, so-called UK QPPV. So let's move to the legislation, to legal basis again. And you might see that this is a very similar slide to this one that Marcela already presented. However, on the top of this slide, there is the rule that marketing authorization holder must have permanently and continuously at its disposal a QPPV who resides in the EU or the UK. I'm not gonna go deeply into what Marcela already mentioned. This is just for you to understand the consistency and how this legislation is linked with each other. Of course, you might see that this is very similar to GVP Module 1 that is supplemented by exceptions and modifications to the EU guidance on good pharmacovigilance practices that apply to UK marketing authorization holders. So the legislation is pretty similar, but not the same. We might have a few, let's say, settings how UK QPPV might be organized. And I'm gonna talk about, let's say, most probably two major settings. So the first one is that UK QPPV is based in the EU. So the EU QPPV is responsible for establishment and maintenance of the pharmacovigilance system for UK national authorized products. That's what I already mentioned. If you choose to establish UK QPPV who resides and operates in the EU, so then marketing authorization holder must nominate UK national contact person for pharmacovigilance who resides and operates in the UK, reports to the EU QPPV, has access to PSMF and adverse drug reactions in the UK, facilitates responses to PV queries raised by the MHRA, including via inspections, notified to MHRA via MHRA submission portal, and this person is required to be nominated by the 1st of January 2022. So this is, let's say, the first setting. Then we might have also UK QPPV based in the UK. Again, responsibility is the same. If you choose to establish UK QPPV who resides and operates in the UK, so then marketing authorization holder do not have to nominate a separate national contact person for pharmacovigilance. We prepared such a, I believe that it is interesting table, might be interesting for you. And here there is summary of actions that are required for, let's say, scenario 1 and scenario 2. So it means EU QPPV and UK QPPV is the same person. And you have here possible actions for centrally approved products and for national approved products. So that's also important to understand that possible actions might differ from based on a way how product is registered. So if we have the same person for EU QPPV and UK QPPV, so we don't need to have any immediate action. The same for centrally approved as for national approved products. Then within 2 weeks of a change of identity, location, or contact details of a QPPV responsible for UK authorized products, you should submit a single change type AIN variation. And in case of no change by 30th of June 2022, you should anyway notify authority about the person. By 31st December 2021, nominate national contact person. And there is very similar action for national approved products, while in scenario 2, it means that we have 2 different persons for EU QPPV and UK QPPV, and UK QPPV resides in the UK. So you must notify MHRA of the details in SPS following any changes to the QPPV responsible for UK authorized products from the baseline information held by MHRA from January 1st January 2021. We will go into this also later. So let me talk about PSMF for the UK. Again, what do we need? We need to look into summary of PSMF for the UK. The following documentation should be supplied in A8 submission, introduction of or changes to a summary of pharmacovigilance system for medicinal products for human use. And we need to have proof that the applicant has at their disposal QPPV and a statement signed by the applicant to the effect that the applicant has the necessary means to fulfill the tasks and responsibilities listed in part 11. You can see that this is very similar to EU legislation, but again, now we are talking about the UK. The country which must be either the UK or a member state in which the appropriately qualified person resides and carries out their tasks. Contact details of the appropriately qualified person who resides and operates in the EU or the UK, a reference to the location where the PSMF for the medicinal product can be accessed, which must be in the UK. So this is really specific that EU location in EU is not possible. Here, it has to be in the UK, and UK PSMF number. So again, this is specific to UK. So you can see that this is really very similar to EU legislation, but there are some specificities. To PSMF for medicinal products authorized in the UK. So the role of pharmacovigilance system master file, I think that majority of these bullet points we already know. So it's describe the pharmacovigilance system, reflect global availability of safety information of medicinal products authorized in the UK. So it means that we need really to have global perspective for products authorized in the UK, and in this case, global perspective on pharmacovigilance. Support document compliance with requirements, contribute to planning conduct of audits, contribute to supervision by QPPV, contribute to inspections, verification of compliance by the licensing authority. UK PSMF, to describe the global PV system applied for all UK national authorized products, must be accessible electronically from the same location in the UK from which the adverse drug reactions reports are accessible. So again, something different from EU PSMF. And then now we are talking about electronic accessibility. Then the UK legal requirements on format and content are aligned with EU legislation. So that's something what we already know. The main body should be relevant for UK authorized products it covers. So it means that here, most probably, we can't simply use just EU PSMF. We have to have relevant parts that are describing or are relevant for UK authorized products. The annexes of the UK PSMF should be relevant and specific to the UK authorized products it covers. Main body sections of the PSMF may be interchangeable between UK and EU PSMF. So we can imagine that there are certain parts that are really common to both of them. PV system covering UK authorized products has been assigned a unique PSMF number by the MHRA via the MHRA submission portal. Here you can see here for PSMF for medicinal product authorized in the UK when to request UK PSMF number. So for sure, and I think that it's clear that for new marketing authorization applications, so you should request UK PSMF number to submit marketing authorization application. I think that that's what everybody can understand, most probably, I guess. Then a change in details of the QPPV for UK authorized products from the baseline information held by the MHRA. So if we have the change, so then we should request UK PSMF number to submit with the change of QPPV details. And the baseline information will be the QPPV details that were registered in Extended UDRA Vigilance Medicinal Product Dictionary on the 13th of December 2020. So it means that information that you had on 13th of December 2020, this is gonna appear in MHRA, and this is taken as a baseline. Whichever change you have from this date. So this change should be notified to MHRA. Looking at this picture, and this is a really great picture. So you can see that there are certain differences for national licenses, and here we are talking about purely national licenses, as well as about MRP DCP licenses. So you can see that there are slightly different, or there is slightly different approach for UK national licenses. This is pretty similar to centrally approved products after 31st December 2021. And it means that if any change details UK QPPV from XEVMPD, so we should notify MHRA within 2 weeks. Otherwise, notify MHRA of UK QPPV and UK PSMF details by 30th of June, and in this case, 2022. So this is really long time by when we have to notify MHRA. We already talked about submission of a single change of type 1 AIN variation, covering all UK marketing authorizations under unique pharmacovigilance system, and looking at centrally approved products, and this is this number 3. So submission by 31st December 2021, submission of initiating ECD segments for converted EU marketing authorizations. So if any changes to details of UK QPPV from XEVMPD, simultaneously there should be variation submitted. Okay, so to submissions MHRA, Marcela, this is again your turn.
Thank you, Jana. So let me jump directly into the topic. For medicines which are authorized nationally in the UK, marketing authorization holder is required to submit pharmacovigilance data to the MHRA according to UK requirements, and for that purpose, MHRA set up the MHRA Submissions Portal, which is used for submission of ICSRs and PSURS. This can be done either via MHRA Gateway or ICSR submissions, and holder can register to both portals. In addition, as you can see, PSURs are submitted using the PSUR tile on the landing page. However, MHRA also set up rules for submission of other documents, like RMPs, PAS protocols and final study reports, or signal standalone notification of UK national contact persons, as Jana mentioned before, and so on. I want to stress that MHRA set up the system prospectively. It means that in general, submission of historical data will not be required, but still may be requested where MHRA considers it necessary for assessment purposes. Where a request is made, MHRA should also specify the time period during which the data must be supplied. So let's have a look on concrete PV procedures and what needs to be taken into consideration when adapting the PV system and its processes to after Brexit conditions. Let me start with submission of ICSRs, as this is the most burning submission requirement with the shortest submission timeline. First of all, marketing authorization holder needs to submit ICSRs to MHRA. The timeline for submission is the same as we are used to. All serious UK and non-UK reports should be submitted within 15 days, and all non-serious UK reports should be submitted within 90 days. For these submissions, either MHRA gateway or ICSR submissions are used as mentioned earlier. Secondly, holder needs to consider if there is a need for submission to EudraVigilance in addition to submission to MHRA. The principles of the rules did not change here. All serious non-EU reports, which now includes also UK among non-EU countries, need to be submitted to the EudraVigilance within 15 days. However, in addition, also all non-serious reports originating from Northern Ireland need to be reported to the EudraVigilance within 90 days, as Northern Ireland continues to follow EU requirements. And yes, EudraVigilance still expects to receive non-serious cases originating in EU within 90 days. As we know from EudraVigilance, also MHRA makes some ICSRs available to marketing authorization holders. Both serious and non-serious UK ICSRs are provided to the marketing authorization holder, either via MHRA gateway, when the ICSRs are directly sent to the holder's database, or via ICSR submissions, where holder needs to download the cases. Only relevant cases are made available to marketing authorization holder, either on the brand level, if the brand was reported, or on active substance level, if only active substance was reported. Let me highlight that it is important to maintain product license up to date to enable MHRA to link cases and the holder. I tried to visualize the system and I appreciate that the picture may look busy, so let me guide you through. First of all, see the countries listed. Other countries, it means all countries outside UK or EU. Northern Ireland and Great Britain are presented separately as there are different reporting requirements. However, both are in legislation referred to as UK. Then there is MHRA database and EudraVigilance. MHRA requires submission of all UK ICSRs. As you may see, this applies to both serious and non-serious cases originating from both Northern Ireland and Great Britain. In addition, also serious ICSRs from other countries, it means non-UK countries in this case, need to be submitted to the MHRA. So this is reporting to MHRA. What needs to be reported to EudraVigilance? For products placed on the market in Northern Ireland, we need to continue to submit both serious and non-serious ICSRs according to EU requirements to the EudraVigilance database. Also, we need to report all serious reports from the UK, as it is non-EU country now, and other non-EU countries to EudraVigilance. So let me jump in directly into another topic, signal detection. Here I would like to mention for standalone signal notification that for all UK authorized products, where marketing authorization holder detects a new signal from any source, including EudraVigilance, it should validate it and inform MHRA at the dedicated email address. And in addition, for products authorized in respect of Northern Ireland, where marketing authorization holder detects a new signal from monitoring EudraVigilance, it shall validate it and inform the EMA at dedicated email address. Similarly, for emergent safety issues, for all UK authorized products, when the marketing authorization holder in the UK becomes aware of an emergent safety issue from any source, they should notify it in writing to the same email address. As you may see, this is the same email address. And for products authorized in respect of Northern Ireland, they should also notify the EMA. And all this must be done 3 working days after establishing that a validated signal or a safety issue from any source meets the definition of an emergent safety issue. Here I would like to mention one more point about signals, and this is about signals in relation to PSUR. At the time of PSUR submission to the licensing authority, if the PSUR includes a signal that corresponds to an important potential risk, or one that the marketing authorization holder has been requested to assess by another regulatory authority outside of the UK, the marketing authorization holder should additionally notify MHRA in writing to the mailbox of signal management. Regarding risk management plans, fortunately, EU version of the RMP is still accepted. Where MHRA has made a specific request for information to be included, this may need to be provided in a UK-specific annex. For centrally registered products, the current approved version of the RMP should be included in the initiating sequence as part of the conversion process. For UK holders that do not hold an EU marketing authorization, the RMP should conform to the Commission's GVP guidance, taking into account exceptions and modifications to EU GVP. RMPs and updates for products authorized to be sold or supplied in the UK should be submitted to the MHRA via the appropriate variation procedure. And let me stay for a moment in another type of report, periodic safety update report. EU version is again accepted. Where the MHRA has made a specific request for information, or where there is a UK-specific information relevant to the benefit risk assessment, this should be included again in UK-specific annex. Until list of UK reference dates is developed, EURD list should be followed, as well as PSUR frequency remains the same as per GVP. PSURs are submitted via MHRA submission portal through that PSUR tile. PSUR needs to be submitted to both UK and UK at the same time. For UK authorized products, you need to submit to MHRA. For Northern Ireland authorized products, you need to submit to EMA in addition. There is no need to resubmit PSUR submitted to the EU PSUR repository prior to 1st January 2021, only on request. And the procedure will continue in line with the single assessment procedure. And last note about periodic safety update reports. MHRA will issue the outcomes of their assessment shortly after publication of the EU assessment, including any amendments to SMPC or package leaflet wording. And similarly to EMA, there are also some fees which will be charged for the assessment of PSURs for active substances or combinations which are currently listed on the EURD list. For post-authorization safety studies, there are a few changed requirements regarding submissions of protocols, substantial amendments to protocols, and final study reports for UK authorized products. PAS can be imposed as an obligation. It equals to Category 1 as per GVP Module 5. Or PAS may be imposed as a specific obligation in the framework of a conditional authorization or marketing authorization granted under exceptional circumstances. This equals to Category 2. Or PAS may be required in the RMP, which equals to Category 3, or may be conducted voluntarily by marketing authorization holder. Where applicable, the marketing authorization holder PV contact person at national level in the UK should be informed of any study sponsored or conducted by the marketing authorization holder in the UK and have access to the protocol. I have mentioned before that there were some changes with respect to submission of PAS protocols, final study reports, and also fees. Study protocols for imposed PAS must be submitted to MHRA via Type 2 variation. Products authorized for sale or supply in Northern Ireland also need to be submitted to PRAC, unless the study is to be conducted only in UK. And for non-imposed PAS, protocol should be submitted to MHRA upon request, and products authorized for sale or supply in Northern Ireland upon request of MHRA, we need to submit protocol to MHRA and national contact authorities of member state where the study will be conducted. Final study report needs to be submitted to MHRA within 12 months of the end of data collection. This applies to all types of studies. For products authorized for sale or supply in Northern Ireland, final study report needs to be submitted to PRAC, unless the study was conducted in UK only. And again, there are fees imposed on the assessment of PAS protocol or final study reports. Briefly, let me mention also safety referrals, because obviously when the safety referral was ongoing, we might be in a situation that it has been initiated but not yet finalized. So for the situation when safety referral started but was not concluded before 1st January 2021, the procedure will follow usual process. All information should be submitted to MHRA, and MHRA will implement the outcome of the procedure. There may be a situation when safety referral was concluded, but decision not yet implemented before 1st January 2021. In that case, MHRA will implement the final decision. I would like to highlight that from 1st January 2021, UK products will continue to be part of Union referral procedures in respect of Northern Ireland. The scientific opinion and Commission decisions will include UK products in respect of Northern Ireland. And we need to implement the outcome where our marketing authorization covers Northern Ireland. MHRA also conducts major safety reviews in case of concerns regarding medicines or class of medicines authorized in UK. The initiation of such a review will be publicly announced, outlining the reasons for the review, the list of affected active substances and products, and timescales for the review. Initial notification will be delivered to marketing authorization holder via QPPV, together with the list of questions and deadline for submission. And outcome will be published together with measures to be taken, including any changes to the product information. And as you can see, there are again fees depending on the number of active ingredients or combinations which are included in the safety review. Regarding implementation of outcomes of referrals and procedures concerning PSURs, PAS, signal assessments, and post-authorization measures. Where an amendment to the product information is required as a result of the above procedures, this will be implemented via a variation procedure. Standard procedure is that EU decision is concluded, then variation is submitted, and afterwards variation is finally processed. This is shown in the blue arrows. However, the end of transition period may happen in various stages of this standard process. So let's start from the left side. Where there was no EU decision before 1st January 2021. MHRA will conclude the procedure and the outcome will be published together with advice on implementation. Where the procedure was concluded before 1st January 2021, but the variation was not submitted, the outcome will be implemented by the same procedure as for the EU. And finally, where the variation was submitted but not finally processed before 1st January 2021, the variation will be concluded in line with the outcome of the procedure. So that's all from my side for this moment. Thank you, and back to Jana.
Thank you, Marcela. So now we have a question how to maintain consistency. I don't think that this is that easy. And obviously, I won't tell you just one answer to this question. Firstly, we will have to look into questions, and I would say key questions that we have to answer within the company or organization, because we need to know what is starting point, what is if we want to have UK QPPV based in the UK or the EU, what is type of portfolio that we have. We would need to understand common products in the EU and in the UK, and obviously we need to know and recognize and think about type of registrations that we have. On the top of these questions, we will need to understand also how the organization is set up. We need to look into structure, into management of organization, into business strategy, in what type of countries and regions we have within the organization. And now maybe you can even see that this is similar for building of any system, and now we are building pharmacovigilance system. We might look at the system from different perspective. We might see, or we might look if decentralized approach would be more or better for us, or if we should go with centralized approach or system that would be under control of one central point. Of course, there are certain advantages for centralized approach. Process would be under control of global pharmacovigilance, process described or specified by global procedures, team that is routinely working on description of PV system, have already a lot of experience, so it means that there would be certain advantages, and everything would be coordinated from one central point. Advantage is that most probably we would keep better consistency and we have certain experience. On the other hand, it might be really a huge administrative burden to keep consistency, and it might be time consuming. However, in majority of cases, at least based on our experience right now, it seems that this is the more acceptable way at this point, at least when company has the same person for EU QPPV as well as for UK QPPV. Of course, if there are two different people for these functions, so most probably it would be good also to think about decentralized approach. And it means that process would be under control of regional or local pharmacovigilance, would be described and or specified by local procedures. Reconciliation between regional and local PV office and global PV would need to be established. And of course, without any doubts, oversight of global pharmacovigilance is necessary. We might need to have support of local people for local know-how. And of course, it might be a bit more flexible to have this type of approach. On the other hand, diversity and inconsistency of the system might be one of things that we need to consider, or one of challenges, let's say. And people might not have such a routine, such experience with building the system. So that's just very shortly about consistency, and you could see that it is not easy. And at this point, when we are just starting with two different systems in UK and EU, so we really need to collect information in the future and look into this from different angles, and maybe in 1 year we will know more. So I believe that we somehow talk about our key learnings that you got here from this webinar. Is overview of the new pharmacovigilance post-Brexit regulation. Then we went also through UK QPPV, PSMF submission to MHRA, PV procedures. And then I just discussed very briefly how to maintain consistency, because it is not that easy. Okay, so I would finish here, and now back to Flo.
Thank you very much, Marcela and Jana, for this very informative presentation. I can see we have quite a few questions, so let's see if we can answer some of them now, while we still have a bit of time. First, I will read out a question we have received from a pharmaceutical company based in the UK. The question is, for product authorized in the UK, do we need to submit a non-UK serious MLM cases or literature cases screened by MAH? Who would like to answer?
Yeah, Flo, I think I may take this one. First of all, the monitoring of the medical literature by the European Medicines Agency continues to apply to UK marketing authorization holders only for products authorized in respect of Northern Ireland. And for products registered in Great Britain, EMA MLM service is not applicable anymore. In general, the valid non-UK serious literature case identified through any channel should be submitted in accordance with the standard reporting rules. So yes, non-UK serious cases identified via MLM, if marketing authorization holder can use MLM as the source of literature reports, should be submitted to MHRA.
Great. Thank you, Marcela. Next, we have a question from someone at a European-based pharma company. Do I need to notify MHRA about UK QPPV? If yes, when? Jana, would you like to go for this one?
Yeah, sure. It was my part. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't explain it that clearly during my presentation, but yeah, sure, I can go and answer this. So there is certain difference between centrally approved products and UK national licensing. You can remember this was this big color picture, and for UK national licenses now currently and for centrally approved products after 31st December 2021. So if there is any change to details of UK QPPV from XVMPD, so then you should notify MHRA within 2 weeks. Otherwise, notify MHRA of EU QPPV by 30th June of 2022. And for centrally approved products before 31st December 2021, if any changes to details of UK QPPV from XEVMPD, please submit variation simultaneously to submission of initiating ECTD sequence to converted EU marketing authorization. So you can remember this was this colored slide. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Jana. We still have a few minutes for one more question. So here it is. What are the requirements for UK-specific PSUR annex? Maybe for Marcela?
I can take this. Yeah. So the template for UK-specific annex has not yet been developed. However, based on MHRA request or where there is a UK-specific information relevant to the benefit risk assessment, this indeed would need to be included in UK-specific annex or chapter of PSUR. However, there is no template developed yet. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think this is it. Thank you very much, Marcela and Jana. Unfortunately, there is all the time we have for today. We would like to answer everyone who has taken the time to ask a question. So we'll take the time to reply via email to all outstanding questions. To conclude our webinar session for today, we would like to thank everyone once again for joining us. We hope you find this webinar very useful. To remind you, this webinar will be available for download and watch again from the PrimeVigilance website very soon. This ends our webinar session. Thank you very much and until next time.